Hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. Well, it's Sunday evening, and we've been craving something sweet all day. And so today we're going to treat ourselves with banana nut muffins. I'm getting the recipe from the Cook's Illustrated book, but I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I like to add coconut to my banana bread, so I wanted to try this recipe. I thought I'd bring you along. I have everything measured out, so hopefully it'll be a quick video, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'll try to remember everything that I'm adding and put a recipe down and write notes in my book. I've been really bad about writing notes lately, but let's get started and make some muffins. I hope you got a good angle. This is 10 tablespoons of softened butter, and I had to change the recipe up. They have a standard muffin recipe, but for banana nut muffins, you use 1 cup of light brown sugar and 3/4 cup of white sugar plus 3 tablespoons. So we're going to put that in there, and my brown sugar, I haven't been baking at all, and my brown sugar's getting a little clumpy. So I'm going to put my paddle attachment on, and you could use a hand mixer for this as well. And by the way, this makes 12 muffins, unless I make more because I added a couple more ingredients. So I'm going to beat this for about 3 minutes, and I'll be pretty well. I did it for about 4 minutes. So let's just scrape it down just a little. It should be okay though. And it may make an extra muffin because I'm adding that coconut. And it calls for walnuts, but I only had a little bit of walnuts. I can't believe I usually have like a lot of nuts. I have a lot of nuts in the freezer, but I'm low on walnuts. So now I'm going to add my eggs. And it says 1 at a time. So let's add that. And it's 2 large eggs. And mine are at room temperature. It doesn't say it has to be, but turn that up. Okay, and let me show you. It calls for 1.5 cups of plain low-fat yogurt. I do not buy plain low-fat yogurt. I may mess the recipe up. Look, I'm trying to move this back. This is my favorite brand. If I'm craving ice cream, I eat one of these. They are so delicious. I love them. This is the vanilla flavor. So I'm going to add this. And it calls for 3 small bananas. And I always add about a teaspoon of lemon juice to my bananas. I like the little tang that it gives. I do that when I make banana bread. Anything with bananas. Banana pudding. I'll just add a little lemon juice. It keeps it from turning so brown too. So this yogurt is fairly thick. Let me see if I can show you. And I'm going to have to, I could use buttermilk instead, but I'm going to try this recipe. I've never tried this yogurt like this before, and I always wanted to. So that's 1.5 cups of yogurt, and it calls for 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I lost my glasses again. 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Pretty simple. So now what we're going to do is take the, I added a little bit of nutmeg to this flour. And I also added a little bit of cinnamon, just to give it a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to alternate the flour with the yogurt. And we'll see how it comes out. Let's add a little flour. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm in a hurry. I actually am. It's kind of late. I usually don't cook this late, but cooking makes me happy. It makes me feel better sometimes, especially baking. I haven't baked in so long. Let's put a little bit more. I'm going to put about 1/3. And I'm sure you could bake this in another pan if you wanted to. So I like to do this at the same time. I'm going to add a little bit of my yogurt. I hope you can see. Yogurt's fairly thick. I'm sure you could probably use buttermilk in its place, and I even thought about using that. I love baking with buttermilk. But this is going to be exciting because I never tried this yogurt like this. Okay, let's mix this. I hope you can see. Oh, anyway, I had about, I don't know, 1/3 of a cup of walnuts. So I just added a little bit of pecans to make it come out better. Let's turn it up. And let me do this, and then I'll be back. I'm sure you know how to alternate the flour with the liquid and all that. Pretty thick. And guess what? I forgot to add the vanilla extract. It doesn't call for it. You don't have to put this. I like it to be pretty vanilla-y with the yogurt and the... I'm going to add about a teaspoon. This is a little bit vanilla extract I made. It's really good though. So let me mix that in. All right, let's put it down. And here's my bananas right here. I have about 3 small ones. And they were pretty ripe. Sometimes I like to use them a little riper, but these were, I don't like to eat them unless they're kind of like really yellow. Once they get dark, I've put them in the freezer. But I have a really good banana bread recipe that I haven't done yet. But it's really good. My dad loves it. Okay, let's put this in. I think you might have to fold this in, but I'm just going to mix it like this. Okay, now I'm going to take it off and move the camera, and we're going to fold in the nuts and my coconut. I only put about a half cup of coconut, and I keep mine in the freezer. I'm just going to add it all. And I changed my mind about the oven. I want to try, it has convection, and I don't try it often enough, so I'm going to put it at 325 convection. And it's supposed to cook a little faster. I don't know really why you have to fold in the nuts. But, oh, and that looks pretty. You could bake this in a loaf pan if you wanted to, but that takes an hour. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to take this, and I've always put my I've always put my pans on a baking sheet in case it spills over. It's just a habit. I'm going to take this big scoop. It should be the right size for a muffin. I don't have the best muffin pans, but I don't make a lot of muffins, so they work. So I'm just going to fill these with one scoop, and then we'll put them in the oven. I'll show you what it looks like before I put crunch, and I'm going to put some of this turbinado cane sugar. I never really used this before. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on the top. And I did make extra batter, so I'm going to have to bake another pan. So I'm just sprinkle these. And it says about 25 minutes. I'm going to start checking them about 18 minutes because I have it on convection. And when you do convection, you always go 25 degrees lower than what the recipe calls for. And I'm going to put it in the middle rack. These are going to be really sweet. I need to learn how to make a healthy version with like wheat flour and stuff. But we don't have a lot of sweets, so. But baking season is coming, so I'm very excited. So I'm going to put these in the oven and a little bit extra. Now, my Cook's Illustrated book, the one I told you about that has some very technical recipes, has a banana bread recipe where you put this on banana slices on top. And I think you sprinkle them, it with sugar. I don't remember really the recipe, but I'm going to try this as a test run. And if it doesn't come out, it just doesn't come out. But I want to just see what happens. I wanted some kind of decoration on top. I don't know if the burnt bananas are going to burn or what's... But you never know until you try. So there we go. Just came out of the oven. They still took about 25 minutes, and I overfilled them a little bit. Hopefully they're going to come out, but I'm going to let them cool a little bit. And we'll show you what I made today. This beautiful beef stew. It's so good. I put all kind of different ingredients than I usually do. So I'm kind of full, but I'm going to do a taste test. But I'm letting them, they're coming out of the pan, okay, and this is what they look like. So I'm going to let them cool a little bit, and then we'll be back. The ones with the little bananas on top, they came out okay. These are really hot too, but they're coming out, so. Oh, that one's, yeah, they're too hot. You gotta let them cool off a little bit before you can get them out. I'm burning my hands. But anyway, I just wanted to show you those two.